Hey there, it's been a long time since I've been online, and I thought I'd tell you a story today while I eat my lunch. So, a lot of people ask me how I moved from Western Pennsylvania to California. So here's the story. I grew up in this little no-name town in Western Pennsylvania, although right now it's a little bit infamous because I grew up in Butler, Pennsylvania. And when I grew up there, it was probably about 50-50, liberals and conservatives, but the vibe of the town was much more liberal than it is today. So, and I grew up with liberal parents, but in a mixed political family. That's neither here nor there. That was just to describe the place where I grew up. When I was 18, I moved to Pittsburgh and I went to art school where I majored in photography. And the thing about the art school that I went to, which no longer exists, but there were some really good things about it and some really not so great things about it. And some of the not so great things about it was that it didn't teach us business. It didn't teach us how to run a studio. It didn't teach us how to get clients or talk to people about our work. And so when I got out of art school, I was kind of floundering. And I had a couple of jobs, studio jobs, where I was kind of like a studio assistant. And I couldn't function in somebody else's studio, even though I needed the work. I didn't know how to do it. I was never taught how to work for somebody else. I was always taught how to create my own portfolios. So I struggled with that for a while, and in Pittsburgh after art school. And I had a housemate that went on a road trip with his brother and said, when we find a place to settle, you can come and hang out with us, maybe move wherever we are. And I said, okay. So this was back in the day. This was like 1978, 79. I think it was like 78 when he left. And every few weeks I would get a letter from him saying, oh, we just passed through such and such a place, or we're in Corpus Christi, Texas, or, oh, we just went to Santa Fe or Taos. Anyway, they ran out of money. The brother and my friend ran out of money in San Luis Obispo, California, on the Central Coast. And I had always wanted to go to California, like since I was little. And I had always told my mom that I was going to move to California, and she always thought that was funny. But anyway, so my friends were in San Luis Obispo, and my friend said, come, just come, however you want to get here. So the cheapest way for me to get from Pittsburgh to San Luis Obispo was on the Greyhound bus. So I bought a bus ticket. I think it was like $65 to go from Pittsburgh to all the way to San Luis Obispo on the southern route. And I had no money after that because I hadn't been working for a while. So I had the $65 for the bus ticket and no money, and 3 days on the bus. And I figured, oh, I'll just go hungry, I don't have to worry about it. I'm not worried about it. But my other roommate gave me $10 for food for the trip. So I had my camera bag and a rucksack with some clothes, not very much. I packed all my stuff in the house. I packed everything up and put it in a crate and stuck it in one of the spare rooms, and I left. And so the bus went from Pittsburgh to St. Louis, and then to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where there was a rest stop in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the bus station, and some cowboy walked up to me and said, just started a conversation with me, and then said, "Oh, I think you should stay here and we should get married." And I was just like, oh my God, is this what the world is like? Like, you just walk out a door and someone asks you to marry them. I got back on the bus, and I think our next big rest stop was in Phoenix. And then LA, which I was like, oh my God, it's LA. And the bus station is in the worst part of town. And I was still like, wow, LA. And then I caught the bus up to San Luis Obispo. And that is how I got to California. And I ended up as a photographer just shooting my own stuff, shooting landscapes, shooting day-to-day stuff, still lives, just doing whatever I wanted. And for work, I just did whatever I could find, which when I first got there I was a maid at a Best Western. So I hung out in San Luis Obispo from 1979 to 1981. And I went back to school to get my bachelor's. And I took a year of GE classes at Cuesta, and then I moved up to Sonoma County and went to Sonoma State, where I got my bachelor's in painting. Because my credits wouldn't transfer, the photography teacher there wanted me to start over from the very beginning in photography, but the painting teacher was more lenient, so I just got my degree in painting. And then after I graduated, some of my extracurriculars at Sonoma State, I took some African dancing and drumming, and there was a really great teacher in Oakland. I moved to Oakland to study with Malanga Cascalord and that group of African performers and dancers and drummers. And that's how I got to the Bay Area. And that's where I am today. And when I was at Sonoma State, when I was in San Luis Obispo, my father had passed away and left me some money. I bought my first VW bus and put myself through college by living in the bus. I think I had a house in Cotati for a year, but after that I moved back into the VW. And I've been living in the VW off and on ever since. And I think that's another story. So that's how I got to California. My friend dragged me here, sorta. And I was not kicking and screaming. I came gladly, because I really have been California dreaming all of my life. I think there's also is a story for people who, I'm making this in December of 2024, so I'm thinking that maybe this might be helpful a helpful story for people who are looking to relocate from red states to blue states, or just wanting to, like, it doesn't, moving to California doesn't have to be as difficult as it seems. Sell all your stuff, buy a bus ticket. Hopefully you have a friend here you can crash with and figure it out.